one of the main principles of the Buddha's teaching about suffering is that we're caught in this web of conditioning. And, it's because we're also caught up in the hardwired nervous system and repeating our habits over and over again. And we've developed all these kind of likes and dislikes, and basically most people are kind of in a prison of their likes and dislikes and their strong desires and aversions. And a lot of them we don't know where they came from. Perhaps some of them come from childhood. A lot of them might come from past life experiences. And the law of karma is very deep and intricate, and you can't really, that was one of the unfathomables that the Buddha talked about. But I had an experience that kind of, really helped me cement my faith in the Buddha's teaching and practice of meditation on how I could, change some of my aversions. Why do people have a strong hatred towards some things and aversions, and others, like them? And so if people liked everything the same, it would be intrinsically a good thing. But what we say, I don't like this kind of music, or I don't like that kind of food. Each person will have a different opinion about it. One person won't like country and western, another person will like it. One person won't like a certain kind of food, others love it. So these are all individual type of conditionings. And so I had an experience in my childhood that I like to tell about avocados. Because when I was a young boy growing up in Riverside, California, we lived near an avocado orchard. And my mother, being a good mother and all that, she knew avocados were healthy food. And so she served them for dinner with a salad, a couple of times a week when they were in season. But for some reason, I had a strong aversion to avocados. I really hated them. And just hearing my mother say we were having avocados for dinner kind of gave a little chill up my spine. And I worried about it. And then when she actually brought them to the table, I looked at them, another kind of unpleasant sensation arose. I said, well, what am I going to do? And then when I actually took them to, and brought them up and smelled it, sometimes I almost kind of like gagged. And when I had to put it in my mouth and actually chew it, and the taste, actually a couple of times I actually vomited, So I really suffered, and I stared at these avocados, and I couldn't go watch TV, after dinner with my father and mother and brother. They loved the avocados, and they were wolfing them down, And I was sitting there staring at my plate. And but fortunately, I was saved by the cat. So we had this cat that for some reason liked avocados. He would eat them. So when my mother said that we were having avocados for dinner, I would let the cat in the house. He would sit under the table, and when they weren't looking, I would feed him some of the avocados. And then after they had all gone to watch TV and I was in the kitchen, I'd feed him the rest of the avocados. And then I'd go to my mom and say, look, Mom, I finished my dinner, and I can watch TV and have my dessert. And so I told a lie, right? So attachment to our aversions and thinking avocados were evil, because I really thought avocados were evil. But if they were evil, if they were intrinsically evil, everyone would experience it in the same way. So, of course, I didn't know that at the time, but later on when I studied the Dhamma, and so many years later when I was in India and I was studying the Buddhist teachings about this conditioning of the mind and getting caught in our attachments and aversions and suffering, I could see that. And I thought, let me test this. Can we really change our opinions about certain things? And so I got a bag of avocados and sat down. And in the beginning I had to mix it with some other food and put it in the mouth, hold my nose and stick it in and chew, and initially maybe have some gagging reaction, but little by little I could then take the finger off the nose and still mix it with some food and eat some more of it. And all along I was telling myself, it's all in the mind. It's, avocados are good and relaxing, and so little by little I could stop mixing it with other food, and by I could eat it plain, and started so that painful feeling with the avocados first turned into kind of a neutral feeling, And then actually I began enjoying avocados. And of course I went to the yoga ashram studying yoga, and the yoga teacher was extolling the virtues of avocados, saying they were, one of the best fruits in minerals and vitamins and all this kind of stuff, So anyway, so that was proof to me that at least for certain things we can change our aversions to things. But yet I caused myself so much suffering when I was young, hating these things, but not knowing why. And so everyone has things they like and dislike, but we keep ourselves in a kind of a prison, because the things that you like, you'll go after, and sometimes maybe you steal them or lie to get them or hurt others to satisfy your greed, just because of a conditioning. And the same way with aversion. We might do other negative actions thinking we don't like these things, and cause ourselves and others suffering, when these are all just conditioned in the mind.